Hello everyone. I am really sorry. My phone was totally dead, so I couldn't proceed ahead with the chapters. So still then, let's start with the chapter. Actually, it is class 7 grammar and chapter number 4 confusing adjective. So you have seen that I have highlighted few words here, and it's very easy for me to make you understand, and I want every one of you to just pay attention to your grammar portion. Okay, so we can finish it very fast so that you can get ready for your examinations. So let's see here. So the chapter itself says that it is confusing adjective. So we are going to talk something about the adjectives which are really confusing and we don't know where to place it when we are using it in any sentence, or when we are talking to our friends or communicating normally, or we are writing an answer. So communication matters a lot, so we need to know where to put the adjective. First thing, do you know what is an adjective is? So I hope people, those who don't know what is an adjective, please see chapter 3. You will understand what is an adjective is. From my side, if I say adjectives are the words which helps in describing and modifying a noun. It helps us to know the noun. It is used in describing any noun. There are varieties of words which helps in describing a noun. So we have varieties of words. But here are the few words which is given in a very dark letters. You can see few, a few, a little and little. So there are many, each, every. You can see here much, many, much. Here also there is few, less, little, a little, few, a little. And there are many, older, elder, oldest, eldest. So there are many words. These are all the adjectives, and with this, this words helps us to understand about the noun very clearly. But because of its similarities, you can see the words, these all have the similar kind of thing, much, many. Like when we listen to it, we find it very common kind of thing. So we are getting confused with these words, where to use it so the people can understand us, because you need to convey your messages to the other people. You need to write a message, you need to convey, you need to talk. So it is very necessary for us to know the confusing adjective, how to place it in a sentence and make people understand what are you thinking of to tell them. Okay, so let's see here. You can see I have also highlighted few words here. Tree, it's a teeth, hair and grass. You understand grass, hair, teeth. What is these things? I have in the sided corner, you can see I have written C and UC. So we know there are varieties of noun, and we don't need to talk about the noun now because you have been learning it from the very beginning. There are varieties of noun, singular, plural. So these are the noun which is written, I say it as an uncountable noun. Hair. Normally it's very okay for us. We all know it very clearly. Hair is an uncountable noun because it is uncountable. We cannot count the hair. If I talk about the teeth, it is possible. If I talk about sugar, if I talk about rice, if I talk about water, these are the uncountable noun. And in this uncountable noun, we need sometimes adjectives to talk. We need to ask rice. If you want rice, then how are you going to ask? If you want to talk to people about certain topic, then what are the adjectives you're going to use it? If it is a very heavy rainfall, how are you going to describe the rain? Because it is an uncountable and you need to use an adjective. So this is all the confusing adjectives. You can understand where we are going to use it. Okay, so let's see here. I have this grass is uncountable, and before the grass there is a confusing adjective which is little, and here a hair, a little. Grass, little, hair, a little. So do you see the differences? A little and little. You can see also here. But the comb has a few teeth. My uncle has few teeth in his jaws. You can see. But the comb has a few, a little. Here is also few, a few. So this small changes gives us a very big differences between what are we going to talk. So let's see here. We'll come to this part later on when we come to few, a few, a little and little. But let's now let's start with this each and every. We all know each is used to refer individual or separate items. It's very, very common thing. Each is used in individual and separate items, and always remember it is used in a singular noun. Singular noun, always. So this is used in a singular noun. Okay, so now let's understand each and every. Each and every is used, it is used to refer to individual or separate items in a list or two or more. So you can see two or more. It is used with singular nouns. Always remember, each and every is always used with the singular noun. Okay, and the verb agrees accordingly. So we always know the verb needs to agree with this. So let's see, the main part is here. Each is used to refer individual or separate items in a list or two. In a list or two, not more than that. So here are the few examples you can see here. I have 5 pencils and each pencil is well sharpened. So I here is a singular. This I is singular and have 5 pencils. So I am considering it in a list or a two, and each pencil is well sharpened. So we can see here, where is it? So each pencil, I am considering the pencil, one pencil. I am using this. So I am considering each pencil is well sharpened. And I am just describing the adjective here. I am describing the noun here using a confusing adjective, each. I have 5 pencils and each pencil is well sharpened. You can see I have this pencils and this pencils. I am an individual. I am an individual and I have 5 pencils and my 5 pencils are well sharpened. So you understand the difference, right? You can just read all these things and you will be knowing like which is okay for you people to understand. Let's come to this part, every. Okay, everyone is okay with this? Each individual or separate items in a list or two. In a list or two. Let's see here. Every is used to refer to an individual or separate items. This is also is used as in singular, but remember this. See, individual or separate items in a group. We are not into a list. We are into a group. Every is used in a group. So now if I talk about class 7. So every class 7 student has a pencil or a pen. So do you understand the difference when I say I have 5 pencils and each pencil that is used for me. But if I talk about a group, so class 7 is a group. So for class 7 I can say every class 7 student. Understand the differences? So this is used for the group and it is an individual and separate items. Always remember, each and every is always used in a singular noun. And remember, group, every, and only list, like in a list 1 or 2, then you can use the word each. Understood? So this is the work which you need to do it at home, and I hope so it is easy for you to understand now. You can read the capsules here. These are the capsules given here, which it is, when you read the capsules we get a very small hint of everything, so it becomes easy for us. Now let's see here, many and much. Many is used with plural countable nouns. Remember, where is my highlighter? So I want every one of you to just underline this, because this will be useful for you to understand, or just keep it in your mind, just memorizing it. Okay, many is used with plural countable noun. I have already spoken about countable and uncountable, but it needs to be plural countable noun. Okay, it suggests a large number of something. For example, many students were helping in the literacy campaign. Okay, you can see here, many students is an countable noun, yes or no? So if it is an countable noun, we are using the word here, many were helping in the literacy campaign. Okay, see, many flowers bloom in my garden during spring. So these flowers are also considered to be an countable noun. So see here, large number or something which suggests a large number. So these are the large numbers actually. So these are the large numbers, and we are knowing when to use the word many. Let's see, much. Much is used with singular. This is used in plural. This is in singular uncountable nouns. Countable and uncountable. Make it again an underlining. Highlight it. If you haven't highlighted, highlight it and just see. Much is used with singular uncountable noun. It suggests a large amount of something. For example, much water. Say, uncountable. Water is an uncountable noun. It's singular uncountable. Water is a singular uncountable noun. Say, this year she has put in much effort to prepare for the examination. So you can see the word effort here. Mehnat. What do you say it? I don't know. Effort. Learn in borrow or something. Ask someone else. So you will learn this. This year she has put in much effort. You can see the word effort, which is uncountable. Like now if I say bravery, she is very brave, and I cannot count the word brave for her. But brave is an adverb, I understand this, but I'm just counting it, I'm just saying it. If I say a few words, let's go ahead with this. We'll have an example later on, not like just class. I'm just doing a video here. So you understand, effort is an uncountable singular noun. So I'm using the word here much. The much word is used here. See here, water is singular uncountable noun, and the word effort also is a singular uncountable noun. That is why we use the word much here. But if you see here many, it is plural countable noun. The students is plural and it is countable, but it is plural. S is given here. You can see S. Let me see here. This is plural. Have you seen the word S here? This is plural and this is countable noun. But if you talk about water, there is no S and it is given in a singular uncountable noun. We cannot count water. Effort, it is not written efforts. It's effort, so it is singular and it is uncountable. You cannot count your efforts. Yes or no? So that is what it is trying to explain. Always remember, much is used in a singular uncountable noun and many is used in a plural countable noun. So these are the differences. You just need to read all these things and just do this also. Now let's come to this one, fewer and less. So fewer is a comparative for a few, less in a comparative for a little. So I hope you all remember we have an comparative and superlative degree also in a noun. Comparative degree, superlative degree. So this is what it is going to count here. Fewer. Okay, let's see. It's zooming in. Fewer is a comparative. You understand the word comparative. I want every one of you, if you don't understand anything, just check the previous chapter, because it is all correlated in your your chapters are all correlated. If you don't understand anything here, anything about adjective, go to the chapter number 3 and read it once. It will be easy for you people. So see here, without wasting our time, let's see. Fewer is a comparative form of few. Comparative, few, fewer, fewest. You remember superlative, comparative? Yes. Okay, less is a comparative form of little. So less, this is a comparative form of little, and this fewer is comparative form of few. If I talk about, I don't have a pencil, so I just need to write few comparative and less is little, right? Okay, this is all the comparative part for this too. So you can see here, fewer is used with countable noun to mean not many. When you want to mean something, saying it's not many, where am I? When you mean not many, at the time you can use the word fewer. When you mean, I hope everyone understand what am I trying to explain. When you want to mean anything, saying like you don't want to say too much, you just want to make it sorry, you just want to make it in a few parts, or you just want to make it in a few little kind of thing. So at this time, when you don't mean it many much or many more, so that time you can use the word fewer. Let's see the example. There are few votes cast in the favor. There is no many. Ulta hai. There is not many, but there are fewer. Understood? So I watch fewer TV programs not now as my exams are around the corner. So I don't see many, but I watch only fewer TV programs. I don't see many TV programs, but I see only a fewer. Understood? So it is used for this comparative degree, and here it is used as a negativity, means the opposite of this kind, opposite of this. It is used here. You can see less. Okay, we have seen here. So now let's come to less. Less is used to uncountable noun. So always remember, confusing adjective is totally about countable and uncountable noun, because day-to-day life we use the word countable and uncountable noun. We have many topics to discuss about. So these topics need to be understood, what is countable and what is uncountable. If you understand the countable and uncountable, it will be easy for you to use all these words in your language. So here also we can see, here you have seen much and many, uncountable and countable. Here also there is uncountable and here is countable. Let me underline it for you so that you people can do it by your own. Okay, fewer is used with countable nouns and less is used with uncountable nouns. Mean, you know why it is used to mean, to make you understand not many. Less is used with uncountable noun to make you understand it is in a smaller amount. Okay, so these are the two things you need to understand and see here. And this is the C group. Please, I hope everyone does this. Do it in your copy and please show me. And let's come to this little, a little, few, a few. So I hope, yes, there are many. So see here, little and a little are used with uncountable noun and suggest how much. So we all understand with this very common thing. It's very common. You people need to understand uncountable noun, little and a little. You have seen a little and a little and a little. These two are used in an uncountable noun. Remember, little, a little is used with uncountable nouns. What does it mean? When you are using this, what are you trying to suggest or what are you trying to say? How much? Understood? Because we cannot count this, but by using this you can say how much. If I say little, a little, so it creates a difference between these two. So little suggests shortage. A little is suggesting shortage. It means hardly any or almost none. But if I talk about this, let's see this example. Let's see the warm up here. So, but his garden has little grass. If I say the word little is here said, it suggests shortage. Little suggests shortage. It means hardly any or almost none of it. Okay, see the differences between this. It is used in uncountable noun. Both of these words are used in uncountable noun, but it has this little bit of differences. What does it say? See here, little is suggesting as in shortage, means more or less it has nothing. कुछ भी नहीं है. So this is what it is suggesting. Okay, see, there is little milk to spare for the puppy. So it's almost no ke barabar. There is nothing left. He gave little attention to my problem. So it's like this whatever the word it is used here. So you understand it is shortage. It means hardly any or almost none. Means it's like it's na ke barabar hai. It's not like exactly what is it happening, but it's na ke barabar hai. The word little. Let's see here what does it say? A little. So a little suggests some amount of, like it is given quantity. So if I come to the warm up here, my uncle has a little hair on his head. So it is suggesting ki kuch to hai. You can see the picture here. If I see, there are a few which is there, but we cannot say it is not there, but there is few hair on his bald head, but we can understand. So my uncle has a little. Let's see here what does a little says. So a little suggests some amount or quantity. There are a few hairs, but we cannot say that there is no hair. If I say, if you talk about my hair, so I cannot say I have a little hair. I cannot say I have a little hair, but I can say I have a little hair on my head. So you understand, I have hair, but it's really few. The amount is not that much. It's very little. So see here, I had a few milk to spare for the puppies. What is the difference it gives here? Either by reading this sentence, you can say you are suggesting that yes, thoda sa hai, I have a little, but I can spare to the puppies. I can give it to the puppies. Only a little effort is required to push this bed aside. If I say only little effort is required, matlab, it is going to be really heavy. But if I say only a little, matlab, we can do it. Only a little amount of effort is required to push this bed aside. I hope everyone understood this. If not, please read it again and again so that you can understand. Okay. So let's come here. Few and a few are used with plural countable noun. We understood that little and a little is used with uncountable noun, but it is not saying any plural or singular. But here we understand like few and a few is used with plural countable noun and suggested how many. This is suggesting as saying how many, and we know like it is used with plural countable noun. Please highlight this, everyone. Let me highlight it for you also. A few is used with plural countable noun, and this is also very necessary. Okay, so see here, few and a few are used with plural countable noun and suggest how many. Few suggests shortage, so few is suggesting as shortage. So you can also see here like same as this little. This little also used as a shortage. It describes telling it's in shortage, but you need to understand it is used with uncountable nouns. See the differences where we can use the word little and few. But this few is, it says it is shortage, but it is also used in a plural countable noun. So I hope so. This is used for an singular uncountable noun, and this word is used for plural uncountable nouns. So see here, the word few suggests shortage. It means hardly any or almost none. So see here, if you find it, there are a few apples that were not ripe. So where am I? A few apples. A few people write letters this a day. So if I talk about few, not you people don't even know how to write a letter. So we understand the difference when we write few. So if you see that example, there were a few apples that were not ripe. So here a few, it's given here, and I hope so this is for this example. So please do not mind this. It's not it is necessary, but do not read this, but just see here, few people write letters this day. So when I say few people, so it is shortage. Almost none of them write letters nowadays, because it's all technology and we don't use the pen and paper to convey messages or our greetings to any other people. So it's a different world now. So you understand when to use the word few. Let's see about a few. A few suggests some or a small numbers. It is used for some or a small numbers. Let's see here, pass me a few marbles from the jar. So you can see here, a few means you need a small number you can count and just share it to me. She allowed her a few minutes to think and answer. So few minutes, there is something. It is, you cannot say it's nothing like it is here, almost none, but there is something here. If I say a few marbles, a few minutes, please, do you have a few minutes for me? So you understand I'm asking you for something else. Okay, so let's see here the examples. You have seen this example, so I hope everyone, it will be easy for you to write it. I have written it and I don't want you to cheat it from me and write, but if possible, please try to use your own head. Okay, so now let's come to older, elder, oldest and eldest. So elder and eldest are usually used for person to talk about relationship. So this is very common. We are, we don't even know when to use these words. Whenever we talk, we don't even know if she is my elder or older brother or sister. So let's see here, and see here, it is used for person to talk about relationship. These are used before a noun. So it's very common. These are used before a noun. So my elder brother taught me to ride a bicycle. Older and oldest are most generally used to refer the age of things, that they may also be used to talk about relationship. They can be used before both the nouns and either before the noun and after the verb. So these two words, it can be used before and after the verb or before the noun. So please make it a very common thing. Please make it easy for you people. Please read it again and again so that you can understand it. Okay, so here are the few examples. Please read it by your own so that it becomes easy for you. So I have done this for you people, so please do not cheat it from here. I want you to write it by yourself. So see, if you read these examples also, it becomes easy for you. Okay, verb is, you understand what is verb? Okay, let's come here. Farther, farthest, further, furthest. Okay, farther, farthest are used to distance away. This is distance away, and this is, where is it? Farther, furthest, furthest. Okay, let's see here, please. Okay, so this is a distance. Farther, FAR is used for distance. You understand what is the meaning of the word distance. And FUR means another, suggest, more or additional, used to suggest addition, suggest more or additional. So further means giving an extra information. These are all regarding information, and these two words is considered to be as in distance. So I hope you understand. If you read this, it is going to be easy for you. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So please understand the difference. This is considered to be a distance because you see these adjectives have the similarities and we really get confused where to use this adjective. So remember, being the same thing, you remember FAR is considered to be a distance. FUR is suggested of more and additional information or anything else. See, further is most commonly used as the same sense as farthest. So I hope everyone, please read this and do this. and I hope you all finish this also, number G. Okay, whatever matters, even though if it is wrong or right, please try it by your own so that we can go ahead with the next chapter. Okay, thank you.